Hi everyone, welcome to Jack's Glass Tinker Shop. Thanks for dropping in. Today we're going to be taking this squirrel feeder that belonged to one of my friends' grandparents. We found it in one of his sheds. So what I'm going to do is try to recreate it in my own image. I'm going to make it a bit smaller, do my own touch to it. I believe he made it out of cedar board, so I'm going to try to use cedar board or just kind of whatever I have here on hand. So I did end up having some cedar board fence board on hand, and I went ahead and used my miter saw and my band saw to go ahead and cut them to the right size that I want and to cut out that cool little swiggly design at the bottom of the support. All right, without further ado, let's make something beautiful. Most of the time you don't need to sand your board, but this board in particular just had a lot of those long wood hairs on it that even sanding, I didn't get a lot of them off. I should have stuck it through the planer first, but it's okay. Okay, so here you want to measure how far you want your board up from the bottom, but you also want to remember to leave a small little gap at the very bottom for your drill hole for the actual screw hole to attach it to the tree. I went ahead and pre-drilled me some holes. I'm going to use both screws and my pop-pop gun just to add a little bit of extra support for if the squirrels end up jumping on it or whatnot, or if there's more than one. Some of the squirrels around my house are pretty fat. I also like to use wood glue, even if I'm using screws or nails, just for the extra support and that seal. And then we want to use some clamps to help hold it in place while I put the first middle screw in. I was having some issues with getting it to stand up straight. There's some issues. So I added a block for support to help hold it, so then I could also wipe away the excess glue. Because like I said, I do like to use a lot of glue. You don't need to use that much glue. I just really like to use the glue. So next I went ahead and attached the seat back. This size all depends on how big you actually make your back support board there. Since I measured mine so far up, I made my seat back at 5 3/4 high, and then I went ahead and rounded my quarters. You could round them or square them or really as much as you want here. It's as cool as you can make it. And then I had to switch out my brad nails to make the smaller ones, because for the seat, I'm not actually going to use screws. I'm just going to pop it with the glue. That should be pretty good. And don't forget to switch your nails back to the longer ones. I also did learn that the hard way and tried to pop it through with the really short ones. Doesn't really work that well. Now it's time to attach the middle brace. Again, for this one, I went ahead and pre-drilled some support holes. That way it'd be easier to line it up and to add the support. I'm also going to add a few pop-pops and some glue, because I really like glue. The hardest part I had here was getting it to actually square up and line up. I couldn't find my square for some reason, so I ended up just having to use some of the other things I had on hand, which it still worked, but it was interesting. And again, I'm going to add actual nails here for the support for the fatter squirrels or the groups that like to eat together. Next, we're looking for a seat. It's about 3 inches, not quite as wide as the back brace. And then we have the support, which is usually right around 1 1/8 or 2 inches, something around there, to support the seat. For this one, I wasn't sure if I needed to use screw holes or not, but then I figured if they're jumping on it or pulling on it. So some of these I may put screws in, others may just get pop. It'll be a trial and error, kind of situation, I do believe. Alright, next is to attach the actual seat part, which for this one I'm just going to use the pop. I don't think I need to drill a hole. I tried to drill through it, but my drill bit broke off on another project I was working on, so it's not exactly that long. It didn't go through. But I feel that perhaps just using the pop will work, and I don't have to use the really long ones. And as you can see, the first ones weren't long enough, and these were too long. Well, they were just the right amount. I just missed. So I just flattened that out with a screwdriver. No harm, no foul. Squirrels won't care. Push those up a bit, so make sure they get in there in case it starts to slip down. And there we have it. I'm going to go ahead and drill the bottom and the top hole for where it will actually attach to the tree, since I have these out. And then next we're going to work on building the table. I know I'm going to use this board here, so I'm going to go ahead and measure it out. But I'm not really for sure how I'm going to do this circle for the table yet. And here they are. This is what I came up with for the table. I ended up using a screw and my glass plunger to actually carve out the shape. So now we're just going to attach the table pieces with the stool to the squirrel feeder. See how it turns out. Because I did go ahead and use a screw instead of a nail, I had a little bit of overhang from the screw head, so I just drilled a little hole into the table there to where it sunk down, and then added lots and lots of glue. And then I went ahead and did one nail to hold it kind of secure, and then lots of popping, just pop, to make sure it doesn't move too much.
She didn't get you, she's coming.
And the same goes for the actual table. The first one I made, I went ahead and put 2 screws in it up towards the side, and it split. So what I went ahead and did going forward was just use 1 screw to secure it, and then a bunch of pop holes on the opposite side just to make sure it doesn't wiggle. And of course, lots and lots of glue. Overall, this has been a pretty easy project, and it was pretty fun to recreate. So thanks for dropping in. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe.